Yugioh fans, Mazarans here, and welcome to the BOSH Leaks for the new set coming out in the OCG, which is Breaks the Shadow. And we are getting these leaks from the main set, not the exclusive yet, but so far what we've seen is quite good. So let's get into this. We have Despot 7. Most likely its scale will be 10 for the female Despots. This one can inflict piercing damage and also limit the amount of Despots you can target for attacks because it will just be him. And you could start to make it a Morphtronic lock, like the Magnet lock. So you can stop your opponent from attacking your Despots. Despot 8, however, has this similar effect, but only for opponent's card effects. So it doesn't stop Regeki, but it does stop Compulse and other such cards that target your Despots. You can also possibly make it the second attack, but these effects are tentative because not the best imagery at all for this set. And this is the only one from this page. We have Solemn Device, which is Solemn Notice, which is a super rare in the OCG. Most likely when it comes to TCG, it will be a secret rare. So yeah, on to page 2, which is the Draco Slayers. Draco Slayers are quite good because Luster Pendulum is a generic that any Pendulum deck can use, and we can finally have the Fusion one. We have a Synchro, we have an Exceeds, and now we're getting the Fusion. And we have a normal Pendulum just to incorporate that as well. The normal Pendulum itself is a little lackluster compared to its brother Luster Pendulum, which is that you can target one card and leave a player's Pendulum Zone and destroy it. You can only use it once while it's face up in your Pendulum Zone. It does help as a good generic scale 3 for a level 4 rank spam deck, rank 4 spam deck. So that is a nice plus from that, and it's another Draco Slayer you can target. And then we got the Fusion, which is a contact-like fusion, which requires you to tribute your fusion material monsters. So this means it's generic in any Pendulum deck as long as you have a Draco Slayer Pendulum monster. Gives you even further alternatives to go through with Magispector Pegasus, so that's good as well. So its first effect is while it's face up on the field, Pendulum monsters and in your monster zone and in your Pendulum zone cannot be destroyed by battle or opponent's card effects. So that protects against Heavy Storm or Harpy's Feather Duster and the like that. And once per turn, it has the generic effect special summon a Draco Slayer Pendulum monster from your hand or graveyard. I think this is the first time it said graveyard, so that's quite good. You can't summon it from the deck, like Ignis the Providence can. But if you can summon it from the graveyard, it means your Exceed plays with the Draco Slayers are less limited, and it can't be used for fusion material, but it can be used for Synchro material or an Exceed material, which is the most likely option should we go for. That's the only two for this one. And next, we have amazing amount of stuff that was released all last night. So yeah, let's go straight into it. First, we have, I believe this is Twin Twister. Yeah, Twin Twister. It's quite a beautiful artwork, if I should say so myself. We have, I believe that's not Scapegoat, it's Stray Lambs, Monster Reborn, Ancient Telescope, a very old card that people probably won't even remember, Magical Hats, and I have no clue what this is. Could be Soul Release, maybe, something of that like. That is all getting destroyed. It's basically just to show that you can discard that it has a very powerful effect. Discard one card to target up to 2 spell trap cards on the field and destroy them. So it doesn't mean it has to be exactly 2 cards, so that's giving it further utility that it originally wouldn't have. And that could mean it could be a replacement for MST, at least in TCG. Not in the OCG. OCG has Heavy Storm, so not Heavy Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, so this won't replace it in the OCG. But in the TCG, this could be a possible replacement. Discarding a card is great, especially if it's like for Burning Abyss. If you send it those cards to the graveyard, this is a possible MST that this deck can run, except from Galaxy Cyclone that it already does run. So yeah, that's lovely, and hopefully it'll be a comment over in TCG, so that'll be very good to play with. On to the next card. And on to, yes, Sandstorm Mirror Force, another Mirror Force We've already had storming and fire, so we get the earth equivalent, which is actually very nice, but it's more unlikely to get played. I think storming Mirror Force will get played a lot, then Sandstorm Mirror Force, and then maybe Fire Force. I don't like Fire Force, to be honest. But this effect is when an opponent's monster declares an attack, changes as many attack position monsters your opponent controls to face out defensive position, and if you do, they cannot change their positions. This is a very good support card for Ghost Drakes, because they love having cards face down and then flip over a Ghost Drake Knight. Then that just basically seals the deal. So yeah, that's a really good card, but I don't think it will be as playable as Storming Mirror Force, but may have more applicability than Fire Force. So on to the next card, we have the Super Heavy Samurai Jishaku Q, which is basically another Morphtronic Megan lock. So you can lock down your opponent and you can special summon a Super Heavy Samurai from your hand. So most likely what was done in the anime was special summon another copy, and then your opponent can't target that monster for attacks, and can't target the other one for attacks, so it locks the opponent down and out of the duel. Then we already know about the general that was released quite a while ago, and then we have one of the most, well, a beautiful card, but one of the most cool cards that's actually come out of the set. I am not a duelist who's ever actually attempted to play counter fairies before. That's before my time. But this card is like bringing it back. It's absolutely beautiful. I would even consider playing it in Magic Spectres because it is got a great effect. So it's pendulum effect. As long as it's faced in your pendulum zone, you can apply the following effects. You don't have to pay life points to activate counter traps, or you don't have to discard for counter traps. So that is very, very good. Stops Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, Solemn Notice being a problem. And that is brilliant. Exactly what a counter fairy deck would need. It's making me consider playing counter fairies as well. And its second effect is even better, where it's destroyed by battle card effects, so it is a slow effect. You can reveal 3 counter traps from your deck, and your opponent adds one of those to your hand, and you shuffle the rest back into your deck. But that is brilliant. You can search counter traps. That's broken. My voice is going, and it's just amazing. It's good that it's a slower effect, because if it was a fast effect, that would just be stupid. But if it's a slow effect, you can have this nice balanced pendulum monster. So I absolutely adore this. On to the next card. We have the next card in the Sangan story, where he was unfortunately taken on a weird ride around in a shed ride, and then mistakenly arrested, and now he's in prison, with the guard looking at him with a not very sympathetic look, and poor Witch of the Black Forest. She's being locked away in the Forbidden Realms. Sangan is crying for his life. Oh, it's really emotional, this card, unfortunately, for me to just keep looking at. It's called False Accusations. It's a quick play spell. If the total number of cards your opponent controls are in their hand is greater than the number of cards you control are in your hand, you can target one face-up card in the field, and your player can activate the effect of that card, or cards with the same name, which is very, very powerful. It's got a hard restriction, like Solemn Judgment of Scales. Judgment of Scales is not against any play, but this is very good against pendulums. Very good. So say you put it down on a Clifford Scout, then you, I believe it will be, the player can activate the effects. So I don't know if you'll be able to activate the actual card as your pendulum scale if you destroy it afterwards, but it will make Clifford Scout a completely dead pendulum, just up how you scale it now. So that is very powerful, and the game actually needed this because we don't have much stuff that completely negates them, except for Benefice Horus, and this will be a nice card to possibly side in to Pendulum Duels. Next we have another Magic Spectre, a beautiful Magic Spectre actually, because Magic Spectres are more or less all beautiful, and this one is surprisingly like that. It's another scale 5, so that's decent for the deck, and yeah, it's called Magic Spectre Frog. It's a weird monster. When it is normal summoned or special summoned, you can set one Magic Spectre spell trap card from your deck straight onto your field, but it can't be activated this turn, which is alright. It's maybe a more better generic search for your Magic Spectre spell traps than even your Fox or Crow. Crow is scale 5, I believe, so this may actually replace Crow in the actual deck because this has an amazing effect. You basically have 2 trap searchings, so I would probably bring out Magic Spectre, the new continuous trap, and then lay down a counter trap. So that would be very, very powerful, and it has the generic effect that it can't be attacked or destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which is nice. And it doesn't belong to the Frog archetype, should say that. So you probably have its name changed to Magic Spectre Toad. So yeah, next we have what we probably could have guessed, Pendulum Reborn. It's like Exceed Reborn in the sense it'll probably be a secret rare when it comes out over in the TCG. So it can reborn a Pendulum monster that is face up in your extra deck or your graveyard. Glad they actually included graveyard into this, because if it just be for your extra deck, it wouldn't have as much versatility, or if it's just from your graveyard, again, not much versatility. So this can counteract the counter traps that are going to be used against those decks. So I think that's very nice. It's a very good trap, and it is from the main set as well. Next we have a weird card. It's a little worm. Always get worms, and there's a tuner as well, so that's nice. It's level 3, 1600 attack, 1000 defense. It's called Illumirage. A really weird one. Kinda makes me think of Harry Potter with this expected patronuses. So maybe that's a reference to it. And Illumirage is quite nice as the effect of all monsters lose future attack and defense for each level rank they have. This is better than Burden of the Mighty, which only affects levels. So yeah, this could have a possible break, maybe become broken if it's comboed with King Tiger Wenju, which lowers all the opponent's monsters, and every time they're summoned, bang, they're destroyed. So yeah, that's a possible card for a lockdown for the deck, and it's a good worm support. Next we have, well, from first looking at it, you may think it's DDD contract card, but it's not, unfortunately. It is a Forbidden Tome, most likely related to the Forbidden Lance and Chalice sects than the Forbidden one, because not the same Forbidden. You can declare one monster card type. If there are two or more face-up cards with that same type, you send all the rest to the graveyard. So that is very powerful, very good. It doesn't say Pendulum because of the fact that Pendulums get an overriding effect that sends them to the extra deck. So it stops Fusion, Synchro, and Exceeds. So I probably would use it against like Shaddoll, where they have a construct and a window on the field. You can activate this, send them both to the graveyard, and window won't be able to protect against it because it's sent, not destroyed. So that is very good, and you can work against quite a lot of decks. Probably another side deck card. Someone will eventually find a broken use for it. So yeah, that's lovely. And then we get the first other Dynamist support. There is another sector Dynamist support because we finally have some good stuff for this. And wouldn't you know it, the card I was talking about a couple of days ago, Dynamist Terran. Because I knew it was going to come out in Dynamist Rush because it was in that trap card imagery. So this has the generic Dynamist effect to protect the cards from being destroyed by card effects and battle. And when this destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add one Dynamist card from your deck to your hand. So it's a searcher to just make your engine work a lot better. I would definitely run this. Maybe even a slightly different build to increase Dynamist presence in the deck over Siren Dragon Infinity deck. And we also have a field spell for this deck, which is more techie than anything, to be honest. All Dynamist cards on the field gain 300 attack and defense for monsters. And when a Dynamist monster you control battles, your opponent cannot activate card effects until the end of the damage step, which is nice. Nice feel spell to do that, but it doesn't give anything further for the archetype. I don't see this being run 100% to make it amazing. It's probably just going to be a techie card that some Dynamist users use or people use when they first get into grips with the Dynamist archetype. But I may try one in my deck. I'm not 100% sure about that. Next we get a super heavy samurai synchro monster. They're finally giving more levels. Battle Ball is becoming more and more a powerful card. This is a level 9, so that is brilliant. My opponents, I've always wanted a level 9 to use against my Inferno Cytobus. So yeah, they've got their answer. They've got this. It's not technically a super heavy samurai in the sense of its name, but it is always treated as a super heavy samurai monster. We don't know its attack. We apparently know its defense. I don't know why. It must be on another picture. And it's 2500 defense, which is nice. It also has the effect like Master Hero Koga to increase its defense by 800 for each monster your opponent controls, as long as you have no spells trapped in the graveyard. It's making sure that this graveyard prohibition of spells and traps is in effect. So yeah, the deck is definitely centered around all monster effects, all monster cards. And then we get the little one that people have been asking for a while, which is Yugioh Defender. This is a quite weird card. I don't know what I feel about this card. Once per turn, if you control, if the only ones you control Earth Warrior Synchro types, which this is, you can switch someone like Yugioh Defender from your deck, from your extra deck. This is not a once per turn effect for each Yugioh Defender. This is once per turn for that card. So you could bring out a triple threat of Yugioh Defenders, and I feel that will get broken somehow. And when this card is targeted for an attack, you can activate the effects until the end of the damage step. If this gains 1000 attack for each Earth Warrior Synchro monster you control, which is good, but I doubt I'll attack it anyway. I'll probably just banish it. So yeah, on to the next card. Yeah, that does actually say where it is. 1900 and 2500 defense for the Super Heavy Samurai Synchro monster. So we found that. Next we get another Dynamist. This is Stegosaurus, not the best art. Oh, actually I can see that in the artwork. That's actually pretty beautiful for a Dynamist monster. And it has the generic effect of blah blah blah, stopping destruction. And when another pendulum monster you control battles an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, destroy both battling monsters, which is a great generic pendulum monster that could be used for anything. It also has a great scale. If it had to be in scale 5, it's scale 6, it probably wouldn't be as effective. But scale 3 would make it applicable in a full-on pendulum deck. So Dynamist Stegosaurus, I look forward to hearing a lot of new stuff about you. And next, onto another card that we haven't actually seen in quite a while, which is Dark Dorino. This is giving me a feeling of the Darkness set, which brought out Dark Cloud Dragon, all those kind of stuff. We're getting all this new updated cards that are from our childhood. So yeah, this has a weird effect of all Earth, Wind, Water, and Fire monsters you control, gaining 200 attack and defense for each other different monster you control, which is really weird. It could work quite well in Perform Age because they have quite a lot of varied attributes, but I don't know exactly if you'd use the pendulum effect. Its second effect is actually quite unique, as you can, when it's normal summoned or special summoned, you can target. It's an if effect. I better say that now. It does not miss timing, so that is amazing. You can target one Earth, Wind, Water, and Fire monster in your graveyard and return to the top of your deck in any order, which is unbelievable. That's a Transmigration Prophecy times 2. It has a limitation that has to be one of each, and I doubt it'll be able to activate if you don't have one of each. So yeah, it has a limitation, but it's on basis of that, it's just pretty good. I would love to use this card. I just need to find a deck for it. Then we have Performable Raincoat. I don't think anyone cares about that card. And then we get Pendulum Storm. So many chances to destroy the scale right now. Destroy all cards in both play and Pendulum Zones, so I'm guessing a minimum of 1 in your opponent's zone. And then you can destroy one spell trap on the field. It's not quick play, so that means it doesn't have as much volatility as a MST or a Fairy Wind. But it may have more versatility than maybe Twister. But I think the Twin Twister earlier on was a lot better than this Pendulum Storm. Next we get a really beautiful card, another Magic Spectre card that is actually needed in the deck. We actually needed this in the deck. Tag 1 Magic Spectre monster you control. This is not a tributing Magic Spectre card, so this can get around your opponent flipping over a Mask of Restrict. You can tag 1 Magic Spectre monster you control, and until the end of this turn, double attack and defense, and any damage inflicted to your opponent is halved. So that is brilliant. Magic Spectres are always lacking in their attack and defense. If you're doing this to Frog, it's a 3000 monster, which is brilliant. So that is pretty good. I would definitely consider running that. Maybe take out one of my Cyclones, maybe even take out Storm, put that in the side deck. But this is brilliant. I absolutely love this support for Magic Spectre. Not broken support, it's good support. Next we get this very weird monster that makes me think of Halo as soon as I see it. It's one of those blocks that look like a Forerunner construct, Forerunner design building. It's just really weird. I don't exactly know which archetype this has come from, or it's just a generic. Maybe like Mecha Phantom Beast and Interblafnir, or Phantom Fortress Interblafnir. So yeah, this is a really weird Exceed. Out of all the cards we've seen, this is the weirdest. Each effect of this monster, because I can't pronounce that, can only be activated once per turn. So during your play turn, so it's a quick effect monster. You can banish 1 random face down monster your opponent controls for his extra deck. So this is better than, like, say, Inferno Sagene. This is brilliant in that sense, because rolling random card is quite nice. You could hit the Exciton, you could hit the Castell, like they really need this matchup, and then its attack becomes equal to that monster's attack. So if it was an Exciton, it wasn't very good, but if it was something very powerful, say you go against the new Power Ranger like archetype, I think their boss monster has really high attack. If you get that, you've got unbelievable support there. And 3000 defense itself is pretty good. Its second effect is you can detach 1 Exceed material from this card. And this is not an Exceed detaching effect, so that is brilliant. As long as you keep on the field, you can obliterate your opponent's extra deck. You can detach 1 Exceed material from this card, and target one of your opponent's banished fusion Synchro Exceed monsters, return to the extra deck, and if you do, destroy 1 monster with the same type your opponent controls. It says face down because that restricts it from using its second effect. So yeah, that's quite nice. But I doubt people will be using that effect too much. It's this effect that could be very good. It could be very good cards to put in gimmick puppets, because they're ranked and they would probably adore this card. It's a machine too, so load of what machines in this archetype, in this set. Next we get finally Intuition Shiranui support. The first of these is a new field spell called Shiranui Style Reincarnation Formation, which is actually quite a bit of a mouthful, but its effect is alright. It's not anything near the power of Zombie World compared to the impact it will have. So once per turn, if you control no monsters, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and activate 1 of the following effects. Tile 1 zombie type with 0 defense in your graveyard, special summon it, or tile 1 of your banished zombie types with 0 defense and return it to the graveyard. So this can reuse your Shiranui Yuta or Shiranui Priests. So that's an alright effect, but I probably would run Zombie World over this, just because Zombie World has the prohibition of tributing. So yeah, on to the next card, which is Unlucky Blast. Don't think people will be caring about this, but target one physical monster your opponent controls take damage equal to that half that attack, and then you opponent take damage equal to the damage you took, so ring of destruction like effect. And it has a generic effect if this card on the field is destroyed by a component, you inflict 1000 damage to your opponent, so it's alright. We have another Shiranui card, I believe, further down here. Next we have a 4-pound guitar, or Gitturtle. And if you activate a pendulum card while this is face up in your pendulum zone, you can draw one card, which is a very good effect. Probably going to be another card to be abused in Performance Pals. Yeah, that's quite nice. It also has a secondary effect. It was take attack one card in the pendulum zone. Its pendulum scale it gets increased by 2, so that's alright, but I wouldn't use that effect. Then we get Trump Girl, which is probably a relation to Trump Witch. I believe it was that designer card. I can't remember what it's called though. It doesn't have a pendulum scale effect, but it does have a monster effect. To fusion summon using monsters you control, either still a fusion material card. Fusion materials to the graveyard, including this card, so it may not work with pendulums exactly. I'm not 100% sure. If this card is destroyed while in the pendulum zone, you can target one drop a fusion type in your graveyard, special summon it, destroy it during the end phase, which is not very good. Probably will. I don't think anyone will be running this exactly. Next we have a Twilight Ninja monster, which is alright as well. It's always treated as a ninja monster. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can discard one ninja monster and activate one of the following events. So this has to be faced upon the field, so it's a lockdown card. You can either protect your ninja or ninjutsu arts from being destroyed by battle or card effects. I don't know how you would destroy a ninjutsu art by battle. Is there going to be trap monsters that are going to battle your spells and traps? No. I don't think they've worded that very effectively. And choose one ninja monster you control. Gains a fast attack, which is alright. It increases itself to 3300 at level 6, but the cost may not be worth it. Next, we have a Performance Band Hurricane, which is another weird card. I believe it's probably from the anime. Target another cards your opponent controls up to the number of evolvable monsters you control and return to the hand. Sorry about that. Someone came in. But back to this. Target number cards your opponent controls up to the number of 4-power monsters you control and return to the hand. So that's a giant true nade effect, which is nice, but it's not exactly giant true nade itself. And we get another Dino Mist card, which is Placius. It's absolutely beautiful absolutely beautiful card. Another scale 6. Which we do need now that we have 3 scale 3s. So before resolving card effect, you has the same effect as Brachion, so that's another defensive card. And monster you control lose 100. Monster your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each Dynamist card you control, which is nice as well, but I don't see it being used that applicably for that effect. And finally onto the Shiranui support, which is another effect monster, non-tuner. And it has the effect of during your player's turn, you can banish one zombie type monster you control, one zombie type monster in your graveyard, and gain 600 attack. And if it does, battles a monster this turn, banish that monster after damage calculation, so it becomes a DD assailant for zombie types, which is nice. And you can return it to the graveyard as well with your field spell. And if this card is banished, you can sacrifice your Shiranui card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. This might be okay for Shiranui's pure, but I am likely going to play this maybe one-off in the deck, but that's about it. And then we have this card, High Speed Re-Level, which is banishing a speed warrior monster from your graveyard, target one synchro monster you control to the end of this turn. That its level becomes the level of that monster, and it gains attack equal to that banished monster's level times 500, which is pretty powerful to increase a monster that powerfully, so that's nice. And then we got to the final support, I believe, yes, which is Seal Arbiter. I believe this is based on Seal Meister, It looks like it's a Zoro ripoff, to be honest, with a Z behind it. So yeah, this is a one of the cards that probably will become very applicable in the future, but right now it's useless. It's like a Schoolmeister, or there was another card. There's a lot of cards that hype because they have their hand traps that can negate stuff, and this will have that applicability in the future, like as Valencia. That's the card I was thinking of. So when your opponent activates a card effect declaring one card name, you can send it from your hand to the graveyard to declare one card name and override their declared card name. So, I'll say Silent High Arbiter, they say Blue as one dragon, which is highly unlikely to be in their deck. You can change that to say Magical Planta. Not Magical Planta, Magical. Oh, it's that continuous spell card. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, basically you can just change their name. So if they did want the card, you can change it to something completely different. If they didn't want the card, you can change it to something that could be correct, which is a possibility for the future, but not right now. And once per turn, during player's turn, target one face down card on the field, and during end phase of next turn, destroy it. Which is a slow MST, which is not going to be that effective in this current meta. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this new support for for BOSH with this absolutely beautiful cards. I really just adore this. I feel like I may want to run counter fairies just to do this. So yeah, expect me to be playing some of these new cards in the future very soon. Probably next week, when it's all been updated and all the kinks have been removed. I'm definitely going to be running. May try out Solemn Advice. Not 100% sure about that yet. I definitely consider running a Counter Fairy deck. I may try this out. I'm not 100% sure. Definitely trying this card out. May try it out in a Pendulum deck, maybe with Dynamist, because this can work with Dynamist quite effectively. Forbidden, I probably will use Forbidden Term, unfortunately. All Dynamist support I'll be using. So yeah, Buster Blader support will be coming out. Buster Blader, the episodes with Buster Blader will be probably coming out this week. I'm having real difficulties with consistency in the deck, so hopefully this new changes will make a decent deck for it, but I probably will get a deck profile for it for a week or two if it does work. So yeah, definitely using this. And I may even try out to see if I can get this out. Maybe Given Puppets. I haven't played those for ages, so that might be fun to play. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave your comments below if you enjoyed this as well. If you think this support is brilliant, or you think this support's going to break the game, and we should all be running screaming because this is all stupid. They're trying to help us with pendulums, and now they're trying to hinder them. It's like, what the hell? Make your mind calm, make your mind up. So yeah, leave your comments below. I would like to know what you thought, and please like, subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to see further content. So yeah, thank you for watching. Matt Durant signing out.